Gary's mod, which adapted quite well to Minecraft.
Well, actually, we got the idea originally from back in Counter-Strike 1.6 days. There was a prop-up mod in 1.6, and it was for, what was it? It was just for dust at the time.
Yeah. And
you could literally just be a barrel, and that was, we thought about it, and we thought we'd love to do that. And then, yeah, we did that, and then we honestly didn't even know that Gary's mod had prop-up. That's how little we play games beyond Minecraft, so, yeah.
I play a lot of Minecraft these days.
Well, we're sort of forced to play a lot of Minecraft these days, aren't we?
Yeah, well, I mean, testing everything.
Yeah, one job.
One job, yeah.
One job. Point out that a lot of ideas also come from, like, we sit down in Skype, quite often drunk, and we're like, oh, was I not? Okay. But we often sit back and we're like, that would be an amazing thing, like, that'd be fun if it was in Minecraft, so then we just go and make it, like, that's how Spleg came about on our servers, which was just be like, wouldn't it be fun for eggs to be thrown everywhere and people to fall to their death? So, that's why we made Spleg, and I'm sure that's what's happened with them, with their TNT games. They're like, let's just blow up as much crap as possible.
Yeah, especially TNT Wizards. I mean, I spent about a week just messing about with the flying block entities in physics and just seeing like how I could make them explode dramatically.
Yeah.
And
like,
then, yeah,
the velocity stuff that you do with blocks just is, it adds like a new dimension. And that's a lot of stuff that we spend a lot of time thinking about. It's like, how can we make stuff more fun? Like, how can we, so when people play, it's not just about having fun, it's sort of like, we want people to be impressed. Because we love Minecraft, and we want them to love it even more, because there's so much within Minecraft that can be done. And I think even both of the servers have only just scratched the surface, really, I think.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have more plans for stuff you want. It's a matter of time. It's just like over the next few months, there's going to be so much stuff we're both going to push out. It's going to break new boundaries, I think.
I mean, your nose, like just having like a small developers, is that there's just only so much you can do in a short amount of time, and the communities are really unforgiving. They're like, where are the new games? We're bored. But there's always stuff in development. We're always trying to work out how we can make Minecraft do this or that, and it's just fun experimenting more than anything.
Yeah, another thing that's quite fun to do is reinventing like the existing games, like if they've either been redstone maps or if they've been like a simpler game plugin, like Art Paintball. I wanted to like take that to sort of the next level, so I took inspiration from Call of Duty and stuff, and added a bunch of kill streaks and obviously the nuke.
Which you have to do the nuke, yeah.
My ears.
Oh, that sound effect. It's the pitch shift ability for sounds in Minecraft just means you can make some horrendous noises. One of my favourite things about Minecraft sounds to just make them sound.
A lot of the time, some of our game types are often we want to, every time we put something on the Hive, most of the time we try to make it unique or change it in some sort of way. So when we release Spleg, for example, obviously we knew Spleef is an extremely popular game type, but we didn't want to just put yet another Spleef server on there. We thought, how can we make it different? And then we thought it'd be ridiculous if you could fire eggs and stuff. And then we added TNT to it just for a laugh. And then we put the launch pads in it just because we could. And it's just building on things like that. When we launched the Herobrine, we thought of it back at Minecon last year and stuff. And it was just because we thought it'd be interesting if we could. Matt wanted to learn Java more experienced. He was already quite good at it, but he wanted to make it into Minecraft. And we just wanted to throw ideas around because we thought, what would happen if we did this? We never thought it'd get this scale. We never thought people would want to play it. And then everything just keeps picking up and the snowball effect and things like that. And before you know it, you've got a lot of people wanting to play it and demanding more servers all the time.
I mean, that's another thing to talk about, is just how much goes into just maintaining the servers. Like, I know Hypixel's got an amazing system for that, for the way that they scale and stuff. But that's another thing that we always have to focus on, is how if we get the YouTube video by, for example, Sky, and we have 15,000 people that want to play, are we going to be able to cope with that, or are we going to like die and shrivel up in the corner?
Yeah, I mean that's the danger. Like especially if you go viral with one of your games, then it could potentially take you down if you don't have the capacity to
we had to do quite a rapid, because before we had, let's say, an average of 3,000 people playing. When we had the Herobrine, Trouble in Mineville and survival games, it was around 3,000 people would be playing at one given time across all the servers. And then Hide and Seek launched, we launched with 15 servers, and by the end of the week we had 120 servers, and people were still emailing, complaining, you need more slots and stuff. So we went from having like 3,000 to 9,000 players, so our server literally tripled within a week, and the amount of expansion we had to do was just buying servers as quick as we possibly could. We had to delay because they couldn't provide them quick enough to us, and there's more and more people trying to play. So but we never know how popular it's going to be. For example, we didn't expect hide and seek to be this popular. We were going to launch the arcade with just 20 servers of each game, and it clearly wasn't enough. But it's good to see people loving the games. It's just we had no idea how popular the game at the time might be.
And it's all fun. Like we're all really true nerds at heart. Like so we absolutely love any problems. Although we hate seeing problems, a little bit of us is like, yeah, let's fix this. And I'm sure they're like,
yeah. I mean, a sign of a good minigame, I guess. The test for me is how addicted do I get to it.
It's as well for the minigame is you have to understand it, because we understand it because we've been building it, working on it for weeks. The ideas, throwing them around. But you've got to imagine a 12-year-old is going to join the server for the first time, not reading anything, and they have to pick it up within a minute. So you can't have it really complicated. You can't have, you have to do this, then this, then this to unlock that.
Yeah, or if it's a complicated game, you've got to introduce the features like progressively. So they start off simply and then they get them more and more. Because we had, for example, the Herobrine, which was our first game way back in November. This is my first one that just for the sake of learning the bucket API at the time. To us, because we made it, it seemed really simple, but to this day, we still get people like, what are these shards? What does this do? Where is the point? How do I get like custom sounds up and stuff? And we learned a lot of stuff from that, and we try and put that in every game, but it's just simplicity, but still addictive. Which is actually, it sounds a lot harder than it is, because the mechanics of Minecraft already are pretty addictive, so you're just adding on top of that experience.
Yeah, we always try to keep it to like the core of Minecraft. Like people have gun game servers and things like that where they make a gun work into it, which is extremely popular for a lot of people. But the way we like to do it, we don't want to try and manipulate it so much. Like we made, probably our most convincing thing was a spade that fires eggs. We haven't tried to do extra things beyond that. We always try to stick to vanilla, so the ideas to people are extremely obvious. If you've played Minecraft, you know this kind of thing can work, and it's not something brand new that's going to be confusing to people.
Yeah, we had that problem. I mean, like even within stuff that's very familiar to people. You know how we have used the inventory for menus.
Yeah.
Yeah. The new game that we've just put out, the Vampires one, which is actually inspired by me watching a video of you doing that sort of scary map downstairs thing. That adventure map. I was just like, oh, I want to make a game with blindness potion. Yeah. So then that used to have kits, but that was too confusing.
But I mean, like. I'm sure you've combated it, but the issue with like stuff like focusing on stuff like blindness potion is Optifine can just like turn that off.
Yeah, that's very true.
Because we were experimenting with a few games to have like limited vision, but we just found that the Minecraft community do anything they can to have the advantage. So they were just using Optifine to turn off the fog effect and thus making the blindness completely pointless. But again, that's just a small part of the game, so it doesn't really affect it too much. But that's something you have to keep in mind. Is like how is the community going to adapt to it? Because as wonderful as all you guys are, you love to troll. You absolutely love it. So we have to, whenever we make something, it's like, how is someone going to be a dick about this? You know, like how are they going to make us want to cry because we've overlooked this huge flaw in the game?
People love to break it. I mean, even with hide and seek, there were some slight glitches in the map, and you could possibly get out of one map, and it seems like half the people in every single map love to go outside and just laugh that they got out and stuff. So we had to start combining ways to block more invisible fences, or kind of when you jump up to cancel your actual trajectory so you can't go higher and things like that. And it's not, we don't see it as bug fixing sometimes. It's kind of, people love to try and break the game. It's just good in a way because it helps us, but people really love to break the game, so that's a lot of our time spent fixing that.
Yeah, it's impressive really to see the ways that people come up with to break things. I mean, one recently that we've had is, the walls.
Yeah.
In a map we added horses, because horses are fun. People are glitching through the walls
Everyone
before the
loves
game started to like go and attack the other people. It's just ruining using horses.
That's inventive. It's kind of being, that's quite funny and intelligent, but at the same time, please stop doing it because you're ruining the game for everyone.
Yeah.
You're kind of on both sides when that happens.
Where do you guys get your map inspiration from?
The thing about, especially survival games, though, is that when we want to make a new survival games map, we take inspiration from like movies or other games. Like the first survival games map, which was obviously inspired by the Hunger Games, and then we had the second one with Reinventing, and then we just went on past that, like games like DayZ, to make a DayZ sort of map, and the newest one we're doing now, Survival 7, we're doing Bioshock Infinite. So when we make a map, we want to have inspiration. But for example, for Splag or hide and seek, more about just making a simple map that looks sort of good looking and it's not too confusing. So yeah.
Yeah, we don't want users getting lost because that's the worst case.
Yeah, we get a lot of map submissions. People constantly saying, "Can you look at my map? Can you look at my map?" We've accepted a lot of community maps onto our servers and things like that, but sometimes it's just like people overlook the obvious of like getting out of a map. Like they'll do it and it'll just be like a 2-block wall, and they could just jump off the edge and completely ruin it. Or you could technically, in some of the older Herobrine maps, you could climb right to the top and just not come down, and then the game doesn't end, or you've got to wait for 15 minutes to finish. So again, it's always thinking, how can people ruin this map if they decided they wanted to? So you've always got to kind of make it look really playable, but again, not too confusing every single time.
So in terms of like the Hypixel stuff, you have like a direct partnership with which built it? Because you obviously Hypixel does a lot of stuff himself.
We also have Minecraftception, which is a building community.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're like highest level of builders.
So what's the process of that? Do you come up with like a concept for the map, as in like you have a theme, or do you say this is what the game type is, do whatever you want as long as it looks nice?
No, Hypixel generally goes on and either builds it with them or builds like a skeleton and tells them, like, it signs up saying like, make this texture with this kind of feel. And then, like, obviously, one man can only do so many hours in a day, so they'll go in and fill in the gaps.
So you sort of blueprint it before it's made.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, we're not that smart. we just send it to Dennis, and he's like, I'll see what I can do.
Yeah,
see what
like
I can
say,
do.
go build, and I show them like whatever ad the map told us to do, and I'm like, yeah, okay. And obviously you're gonna go and fix it like 3 times after that, but.
Normally we make the maps, and then Clankstar, who does a bulk coding on most of the games, such as Hide and Seek was all his work. And then so Dennis sends the map to Yuri, and Yuri's like, no, I can't use this. This is horrible. So then they have to go back and do it again. We've done that like 2 or 3 times on many a map.
The hide and seek maps are like, it's so difficult to see how it works because you have to have some variety in blocks. We had some maps like for the space map, for example, that when we set it, it was like this ended up being like clusters of the same block, and just didn't work out. So you really have to, it has to look good, of course, which most team prime maps do, but also really it has to work with hide and seek, which is really a challenge. Because you look at it, like with Hotel Map, we got lucky. It was one of the first maps they made. It really ended up being the awesome map for the game type. The other map, I think we did like 6 in total so far. That looked awesome. Yeah.
12 maps.
Yeah, they looked awesome. Then you see what block would work, and you're like, nothing really works. Like, it's a nice map, but where would you hide? You really need to find a balance, which is really hard at some games.
Yeah, so often Team Rider are amazing at building maps. So often, like they can churn out 10 maps like in a few days if you ask them to. But sometimes, like some of the newer members don't think how it would work for that particular game type. So you have to say it's completely unusable, or can you actually think how would they do this, and they have to fix it and things like that.
Most of the time we sort of just cheat, and then we open up like either MC Edit or use World Edit and just like cut the map up and sort of stitch it back together enough so it works. And then we just say that that's how we planned it to be.
As far as testing, like we're very, like when I finish the game, we have a dedicated test box. So our community like helps me a lot. It's like they're so creative at coming up with ways to break things. Like a lot of our games have been tested for weeks on the thing before like anyone else sees them besides the test. How do you guys test?
Testing, normally it comes down to our moderators. All the volunteer moderators that do an amazing job, like just getting rid of people that want to apparently insult everybody on the internet. So we have obviously our methods of communication with them, huge Skype chats and stuff, and we basically say, we've got this new game type, we've got this new map, can you all join up and try and be the worst person you can be and break everything? And normally that works. It normally works pretty well. And then we release it to the public, and then we realized there was 100 issues that we didn't see, and then we fixed them on the fly. But we haven't actually ever had a game that's had huge amounts of issues. It's just been a small thing, like maybe stats aren't synchronizing properly or something like that. I mean, have you had one plugin that's caused you, or say one game or one map that's caused you absolute hell?
TNT Wizards.
Oh yeah, TNT
caused
Wizards.
our entire network to pretty much get down to its knees for a week or so.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about it is, like, we did it on the test network, and there's not much else to demand on there, obviously, because it just runs like 1 or 2 test instances time, and I was like, oh, this is pretty lag-free, this is running quite good. And I didn't think to profile it before we went out. So what I've ended up having to do is I actually cut out 80% of the flying block entities, and you can't actually notice the difference because of the way the client displays them. But yeah, there was so much lag on our servers caused just by me not profiling and being lazy.
Didn't you like also have, what was it at some point, like during, I think TNT run, you actually had exploding TNT that you had to...
Yeah, falling blocks, bane of my life.
Yeah, there they are. Are on really, really low powered like networks and stuff, and we don't want to push like obviously like since the new custom particle was introduced, so we can do like all the particles in the game. We can call them. We were like, oh, this is amazing, it looks so good, but then everyone's like, I can't do it, don't do it, because it's like they go down to a few FPS. But
yeah, TNT Wizards has problems with that still.
Yeah, but that's that's just. Like, it's with any game, it's like, well, they can't play Call of Duty or anything on that network, but we obviously want to support as many people as we can. It's just, it's one of the. It's not even an issue. It's just something you have to bear in mind.
I guess that's part of the fun as well, working to the framework. Like, it's the speed that we can get ideas out to like try them out ourselves.
Yeah, no, I love actually working within restrictions, because when you make a game type that's like, okay, this was made like. Any like external mods without adding anything to the game, and it works. It feels more of an achievement. Do you think?
Yeah, it might be less work, but when you see it, it can almost be more impressive.
Yeah, exactly. And I love that whole theory of people not having to download anything to play. The fact that anyone who owns Minecraft can just connect and play it and have a great time and have fun, which is what Minecraft's about.
And the experience is completely different to vanilla as well.
I don't think any of our servers would be anywhere near as big as even if it was like one simple file, you have to download this, click it and it'll work. I don't think any of us would be even near the scale if we got out of vanilla Minecraft, because it works well, and again, people know about it. If you start downloading packets and changing things that people don't know, it's not going to work on mass, and it's not going to be as popular.
Very true, yeah.